Hey guys, I'm Ch.2 again here in the second chapter of Dueling Like a General. Yeah, I finally gave it a name. Dueling Like a General. This is the second chapter for the Dark World gameplay video guide, and today we're going to be discussing basic spells and traps you can use in a Dark World deck, aside from staples. The first one, we're going to start with the spells first. Allure of Darkness. It's a generic draw engine for dark decks, and basically it's a really good card in Dark World because everything we run is dark, unless you're like playing Effect Baiter or something. But aside from that, everything else is dark. So this is a great card to put in your deck. I don't use it personally because I mean I got enough draw engine with the Gates of Dark World and Dark World Dealing, which I will discuss later on in the video. But if you want to run this, by all means, you're welcome. You're not gonna look bad. Then we got Foolish Burial. Now, yeah, this card I actually run in the deck. As you can see, it's in Card Protector. Foolish Burial is actually one of the fastest way to get Grapha on the field, because you use Foolish Burial to send Grapha to the graveyard, or you can even use Foolish Burial to send any Fiend monster to the graveyard so you can activate Gates and get the engine going. But yeah, Foolish Burial is a very, very important card in this deck. I honestly really recommend you use this. It speeds up your deck really, really, really good. So yeah, I really recommend you playing this card. Gateway of Dark World. Yes, I use it. I have it in the Card Protector. Now, this card is actually not many people use it. Why? Well, because it has some drawbacks. But the good thing about this card is you can special summon. It's a monster reborn. You can special summon any Dark World monster from your graveyard. And the only drawback is, well, a major drawback is that you can't summon the turn you activate this card. So it's kind of like, think about it like a Pot of Duality. Now, the cool thing about this card is that it's a quick play card. So that means you can set it, and on your opponent's turn, you can chain it to an MST or something and special summon a Dark World, especially Grapha. Yeah, special summon me! But, you know, honestly, the way I use it is in the end phase of the opponent, I special summon a normal Dark World monster, like this guy. And then on my turn, I put something like this to my hand, and then he special summons me! Yeah, I special summon him. Yeah, I got you, Grapha, don't worry. Dark World Lightning, really, really cool card. I honestly, you won't look bad if you use this. I don't use it. I don't need it. But some people like it, some people don't. What does this card do? Well, you choose a face-down card on the field, whether it is a monster or a spell or trap. If it gets destroyed while it's face down, you can discard one card from your hand. That basically, I just took two stones. I just took two birds with one stone, because a lot of people actually don't know how to use this card well. Like, there's a ruling that requires you to destroy the card while it's still face down, so that you can then discard a card from your hand. If they activate a spell or trap when you target it with this card, then you won't be able to discard a card from your hand. Just to get that right. Drag Down from the Grave. This is actually one of the hardest cards to find for this deck, because it's so old. I mean, it's a common, but it's so old. It's from Dark Crisis. That's like way back. That's like 5 years ago, just to tell you. Actually, yeah, this one has spell card, but you know, I think I have one that says magic card right there. It's that old. Yeah, the thing is, Drag Down from the Grave is actually one of the most deadliest cards in Dark World, because it lets you see your opponent's hand and you choose any card they have and you discard it to the graveyard. Now, they also get to see your hand and discard any card you have in your hand. Now, the thing is, you need to know how to play this card, because you need to have a bunch of Dark World monsters in your hand so that this card is really good. Now, if you play this card and you have spell cards in your hand, or trap cards in your hand, or another card that is not a Dark World, then you're gonna suck, because they're gonna discard the spell card or the trap card or the card that's not a Dark World. Now, if your entire hand is Dark World, use this, and it's really annoying. Like, you're gonna plus and they're not. Then we got another discard outlet, which is Dark World Dealing, Tratos del Mundo Oscuro. And basically, Dark World Dealing is really simple. You draw one card, discard one card. That's it. Now, the thing is, discarding one card is part of the Dark World Dealing's effect, so it activates Dark World cards. Really important. I'm going to keep saying that the entire video. Card Destruction. This is our game finisher, or it's one of our trump cards. And card destruction is a really powerful card because it discards your entire hand. Now, if your entire hand is Dark World monsters, yeah, you're gonna have a really party right there. So honestly, you really want to use this when you only have Dark World monsters. I really recommend you only doing that. I mean, I have used it like when I have non-Dark World monsters in my hand, but that's just because the other cards that I have are just not usable in that moment. So they provide extra draws, But aside from that, try to only use it when you have Dark World monsters in your hand. Finally, the gates to Dark World, the gates to our world. All right. Yeah, the gates to me. Yeah. Basically, the way that Gates of Dark World works is actually one of the best field cards ever created. And the good thing about Gates of Dark World is that it's an engine that keeps the Dark World deck going. It's always going to be there to discard cards from your hand. And you keep drawing cards. Because when you discard a card from your hand using Gates of Dark World, you draw one card. Now, that's only once per turn, but that's something that's going to be going for the rest of the duel. So you really want to run 3 of these in any deck, in any Dark World deck you make. 3 of these, always. Plus, on top of that, icing on top, it gives 300 attack and 300 defense to your Dark World monsters. So that basically makes me, Grafa, a 3K beater. Yeah. Yes, Murkoff. Alright, now, we go to trap cards. This is actually called Forces of Darkness. This card used to be used really a lot back in the day because we didn't have this guy. And the thing is that this card basically what it does is you target 2 Dark World monsters in your graveyard and put them back to the hand. It was basically a hand refresher, but you can still use it today, but Grafa's better. Plus, another downside to this is that Gates of Dark World will always be removing your fiend monsters to the grave, to the banished zone, in order so you can discard cards from your hand. So you will not have as many Dark World monsters in your graveyard as you're supposed to. Then we got Dark Deal. This is actually a really cool card. I like it a lot. Dark Deal it negates the activation of any normal spell card, for example, card destruction. And it turns it into a different effect, which is your opponent discards 1 card. Now, your opponent is you, because your opponent played the spell card. And that spell card now says that you must discard 1 card. Now, it's any card you want, so you can discard Rainbow and activate his effect by paying 1,000 life points for a Dark Deal. Very nice. Very cool. Skill Drain. Really, really cool. One of the, honestly, aside from Hero Beat, Skill Drain in this deck, and TGs, Skill Drain in this deck has actually one of the greatest synergies ever. Most Dark World monsters are not affected by Skill Drain. And you can have basically Grafa, a 3K beater, which is always going to come back from the graveyard, no matter how many times you kill it. With a Skill Drain on the field, you're in a really good position. So for 1,000 life points, you're negating almost all the powerful effects of today's meta, like not Rescue Rabbit, like Voltor Lagia, you're negating Tour Guide, you're negating Insector Hornet, Dragonfly, you're pretty much negating everything. So it's a really, really good card right now in this format. I honestly suggest you get 2 or 3 of these. I run 2. And then we finally go to the viruses. Now, the viruses, Dark World is actually one of the decks that is most consistent in playing these viruses. One targets monsters that are 1,500 attack or lower, and the other targets spells or trap cards. You basically have to tribute a 2,000 attack or more monster, which in this case would be something like Rainbow, Gold, Silva, or Grafa. And actually, Grapha is the best target for these viruses because he's going to come back next turn. So it's a really good card. Plus, you get to see your opponent's hand and your opponent's next 3 draws, which brings us to the last card, which is Mind Crush. Mind Crush in this deck is absolutely brutal. This card is you're always gonna use it. And the thing is that the drawback of this card helps this deck because it's an effect that makes you discard 1 card at random, but it makes you discard 1 card. So it's part of the effect of Mind Crush. So your Dark World cards will activate it if you get to discard a Dark World monster in the process. Plus, on top of that, you're gonna be seeing your opponent's hand so much with cards like these that honestly it's not hard to memorize your opponent's hand. Plus, even Mind Crush lets you see your opponent's. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's part of the ruling that says you can see your opponent's hand in case he has extra copies. But yeah, you're gonna be seeing his hand so many times with these 3 cards that it's honestly, I mean, I find it too hard for you not to memorize your opponent's hand. But hey, sometimes it happens. Well, that's it for Spells and Traps. Next video, I'm going to be covering some basic gameplay with Dark World so you can get an idea of how it plays. And yeah, some nice tricks of each of the Dark Worlds and stuff. That's it for this video. So yeah, see you guys in the next video, next episode of Dueling Like a General.